Now to discuss more on this in detail, I'm joined by DD India correspondent straight from the newsroom, Jessica Taneja. Now, good afternoon, Jessica. What is the current status of the search and rescue operation there?
As we're given to understand at this point, Deepika, things are very difficult, especially for the rescue team at this point. And to give an exact number of the survivors, though officials state that 18 of them have survived out of the 64 plus the 3 soldiers who were on that training flight in the Black Hawk that collided with the aircraft from American airline. The news and the process of understanding on how soon we'll know the numbers will also going to get tricky because of the weather conditions right now in DC. Now, particularly about the Potomac River. Now, let's also tell our viewers on how difficult the conditions are when we talk about the icy Potomac River. Some reports also suggest that there was a similar crash, but not a collision though, but a similar crash in approximately 1982, 40 years ago, by an Air Florida aircraft as well, which in fact had 70 people on board. We're talking 40 years ago at the same Potomac River, where it was icy and very difficult for the search and rescue teams to pull out either the survivors or even give us a number of casualties and fatalities. So at this point, as you said, there are about 300 rescuers who are out there working in those really difficult conditions, so to say, because it is at night. Remember, this collision took place at 9 p.m. Local time in Washington, D.C. So perhaps it is difficult to ascertain at night on how this entire process of rescuing and giving an exact number. I think it will continue through the night. But what is important to remember at this point, that this is something which the United States hasn't seen in a really long time. An incident like this, where a Black Hawk helicopter collides with an American an American aircraft mid-air, and with the information that's quickly coming in, and as you also pointed out, President Donald Trump saying that he's been briefed about the entire incident, and also has gone on to say that this entire incident could have been prevented according to the brief that he has received and the statement he's issued on Truth Social. We're yet to hear officially otherwise as well, but you also mentioned the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who said that this is indeed a very tragic incident, and a further investigation into all of this would reveal as to what was the cause, and especially it will depend on the communication of the air traffic controller to the helicopter then, because from various videos and images that have right now emerged on social media, and according to a lot of civil aviation experts as well, it does look like that this collision, which we saw at approximately 9 p.m. Near the Reagan airport, could have certainly been a different turn of events had the situation been monitored the way it usually is by the air traffic controller.
And also, Jessica, when we talk about the relief and rescue operation there, we are also getting the reports that how tough the conditions are there in the Potomac River, as you were also telling us, because the temperature is really freezing, and when the incident happened, it was really cold there. Tell us more about that, signifying and elaborating the details of the accident. That is also incidentally being quoted as one of the deadliest accidents happened in decade, not only in Washington, but also in nearby areas. Jessica.
Yes, and we're also given to understand that the FBI's underwater search team, a special team, is also there to assist with the other teams who have been currently deployed to look for, the remains, or perhaps, the casualties or the fatalities. We can't really comment on at this point. But yes, as the situation remains murky, weather has really sort of made the conditions even more difficult, especially the Potomac River right now. Now we're looking at 8 feet deep. The plane, as we're given to the aircraft, as we're given to understand from preliminary reports, although officials have quoted this in many of the reports across the United States, and what we gather from that is that the plane was found in absolute pieces and the helicopter was found upside down on the river. Of course, the fact that the river is also, it contains massive blocks of ice, So it is very difficult to ascertain as to how the rescue operations must be conducted in absolute darkness with just few lights from the buoys that sort of help navigate any kind of movement on the sea, especially of the ships, which apparently was not taking place at that time due to the state of the river, which is completely frozen. So it is not an easy task, and the temperatures, we're given to understand, will go below freezing levels in few hours from now. So expect a lot of delay and a lot of angst, if I may say so, for the people and the survivors and their families, the families, pardon me, of the people who have been, who have been.
And in addition to this, we've also got the official statement from Donald Trump, who said that this could have been avoided. His statement speaks louder, and he's got some very between the lines meaning that we can make out of it. What do you have to say about Donald Trump's version on this incident?
Well, according to the statement that has been put out by him on social media, and going with that, he has said that he's been briefed on the matter, and as the President of the United States, who's just taken charge about a week ago, of course, this is one of the many incidents that will be very difficult at this point for his presidency as well, and especially when it happens in and around DC at the Reagan airport. So, of course, the President is briefed, and he did make those assertions to the effect that this could have been prevented. And I think one will have to look at it exactly from the point where the President of the United States has put out his concerns for as well, and he maintains that there will be search and rescue operations continuing, as well as all kind of help provided at this hour, even though the situation looks very difficult for the teams out there trying to rescue, either bring us the number of fatalities or perhaps casualties or any survivors, if there be.
All right. Thank you so much, Jessica, for joining us and bringing us those very important details about the incident.